So what does it mean to be a raging Cajun? Southwest Louisiana, wreck your face, man. Still don't get it in, I'ma let you know. All you gotta do is come and join the show.
Yo, what is up, y'all? Welcome to this live stream edition from my YouTube channel, baby. The World Elite Podcast, powered by StreamYard, sponsored by our best friends, 80stees.com. Go to 80stees.com. Use our promo code World Elite to get 30% off of your order. And sponsored by Wrestle Champs, the mobile card wrestling game for all iOS and Android devices. Type World Elite Pod 1 to redeem 5 free move cards for your wrestling card game. 2/3 of us is here again. Of course, I am Marcus at Marcus Elite 337 on Twitter, and Jordan is back in the house as well. What is up, man? And where can we find you?
Not too much, and you can find me at Jordan_J2000.
Hell yeah. Podcast you can find on Twitter at World Elite Pod. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube as well. Be sure to give us a 5-star comment, 5-star rating, 5-star review. You know it. We got a special day today. We're doing a live stream where we're going to be covering what happened this week from Extreme Rules to AEW Dynamite. And this Sunday, we got a special game going on in New Orleans between the New Orleans Saints and the defending AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals, with 2 5-star players who played from the great state of Louisiana at LSU. Go Tigers. Before we talk any more, please welcome back to the World Elite Podcast. You can check them out on the Brain Buster Boys, representing Cincinnati, Ohio's finest and Kentucky's finest. It's my boy and your boy, Brett Jagger. What it do, man?
Up in the office. I'm casual here. Did you have me muted?
I thought you unmuted yourself. What is up, Justin from the End Time Wrestling Podcast?
Yeah, so I'm in a relaxed state here. You know, no microphone, no headset, but I hope you can hear me all right. And yeah, just excited to talk some wrestling and some football with our teams matching up against one another and your AFC team. So it should be a fun one for sure.
Yeah, AFC team. As long as Joe and Jamar and anybody else they take from the Bayou is there.
They brought Tyler Shelvin back. He was on the practice squad, and he's now back on the active roster too. So
hell yeah.
Yeah. He played pretty well. He definitely got his most action last game. Played pretty well. So we got to get that deep ball going though. But I'm sure we'll get into all that later on. But yeah, happy to be back here again and excited. And let's do it.
How you been, though? I know you've been busy. You've been to a couple wrestling shows here and there. You know, you work in the Bengals games and so often. You got your show, the Brainbuster Boys. Be sure to tune in and check out, and be sure to give them some love if you subscribe and get products from Manscaped. They're proud sponsors of the Brainbuster Boys.
Yes, sir. Promo code BBB for 20% off and free shipping for all your male grooming needs. They've got some good products over there.
BBB stands for Brainbuster Boys, by the way, people. Not boobies.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. Before we get to any talk, if he's watching, I know he's going to be tuning in. Dylan, you're watching this. You got to screen record this so he can see the proof. Yes, this past weekend, it was not a fucking good weekend for myself, Dylan, and Jordan, as we got toasted in Tiger Stadium, not just from that heat, but we got our asses toasted by Tennessee Volunteers themselves. I mean, I guess they're back. We're going to find out if they're back this Saturday if they beat Alabama. But Will Gray, shout out to Will Gray for Bot Spots and Chair Shots. He said, if Tennessee loses this game, I got to wear orange next time we're on the air. Well, I'm not wearing the orange he wants, but who gives a shit? The Astros are 1 win away, going back to the pennant to play, hopefully, the New York Yankees, so Altuve can tell Judge, hey, rent is up, rent is due, or I'm going to call the warden, Yordan Alvarez, to come take that ass out. But I'm wearing orange, and I got one more special thing for Will before we move on. Can I get a clap going like this real quick? Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Fuck. Oh, yeah. I'm loving the love. Yo, Tim King, FloorSlamperSports.com in the fucking house. That's right. Dylan's, yeah. This is his third comment. Dylan will be definitely commenting again. I'm never doing that again. He told me I had to do it since we lost that game. But, hey, if they beat Alabama, I'll be happy. But I think it's going to be a struggle win for Alabama, as much as I hate them. But all right, let's get to Wrestle Talk. Let's rewind back to that same day that started off as shit for us, but ended on a high note because Bray Wyatt is back. Give me your honest opinion on Bray Wyatt's return. How did you feel about his return there, Brett?
Yeah, I thought it was really well executed.
It hurt a lot.
Everyone kind of knew it was coming, kind of like the CM Punk thing, like kind of worst kept secret. So it's like how you go about doing it. And I thought that was really cool, kind of showing all the figures from his past and kind of going through all that. And then, he finally comes out and you see the lantern. Thought it was awesome. I've been a little critical of Bray Wyatt in these past couple of Shut up, Tim. I speak the truth. Unlike some. No, I'm kidding. I think Bray was always a bit overrated, especially from a wrestling standpoint, and he had some real stinkers with that Rollins Steel or Hell in a Cell, some of the Orton shit. But like under Triple H, definitely very excited to see what he can do with him, and what character role is he going to play, and who's going to be with him. So it was awesome, very well done, and very intriguing to see what comes out of it.
Now, I've been asking a lot of people this, including Jordan. I asked him this last time we were together, but which return was bigger in WWE this year, Bray Wyatt or Cody Rhodes?
Yeah, that's I would have to say Cody. Just because, again, just the historic nature of that, of being the first person to jump from AEW to WWE, and it being him, of all people, the guy who, helped start the company. Bray never should have been fired in the first place. I think everybody knew that. And I think, as time went on and he didn't join AEW, I think it was, and once obviously Vince was gone, that was, the writing was on the wall. I thought Bray's was definitely way cooler, of course, but I think Cody's was definitely the bigger deal.
I said Bray.
Yeah.
I said Bray too. I mean, we knew it was coming. It's just how he did it, bringing the characters from the Firefly Funhouse.
Yeah.
And then showing
was way better for sure.
And then showing like an abandoned Firefly Funhouse covered in cobwebs and everything, and then he stole Ethan Hawke's mask from the Black Phone when he came out of the little doorway, and then he paid tribute to Brody Lee with the blue lighting, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, love it.
And then he's going to appear on SmackDown tomorrow night, and it fucking sucks for me and Jordan because SmackDown's going to be in New Orleans also tomorrow night. So you think he's actually going to show up, or it's just a commercial to try and get the seats to fill and say, oh, Bray Wyatt's coming, but if he don't come in person, he might come in a promo or a video package?
Yeah, you'll be coming, but
all right, I came when he came out.
Are you guys going to the show?
Unfortunately, I'm not, because I have to work a football game tomorrow night. I'll be on the sidelines, headset and all, fucking clipboard, doing what I usually do. No, I do stats for defense.
Okay. Nice.
Was defense
like
coordinator. Yeah.
Cool. Nice. Did you have a question? I'm sorry. Oh, Willie. Yeah, I mean, I think even with Vince, I think they usually would deliver on things that they would say. But again, with him, you never know. It could be via satellite, as they used to always say. I would like to think he's going to be there in the flesh. What's he going to say? What's he going to do? My guess is as good as anyone.
Who's he going to target? Who's he going to go after?
Yeah. Will Alexa be involved at all? I kind of hope not. I was kind of in and out of all the Fiend stuff because as you know, I've just now gotten back into watching, WWE consistently because it's good again. But I think he'll be there. But yeah, who does he talk? Who joins him? Is he alone? Who does he go after? Yeah, all great.
There's rumors, about so-called Wyatt Six. They're saying, like Huskus, I think was Joe Gacy. Abigail was either Liv Morgan or Alexa Bliss. Someone said the Rabbit was I don't know, somebody was Karrion Kross, somebody was Bo Dallas, somebody was Dexter Lumis. They kept throwing all sorts of different names in. He also paid tribute to Brody in another way. The mask, Abby had one.
Oh, nice.
Was the mask Brody wore and him and Rowan with the Bludgeon Brothers. Cool. Okay. Now, whose was louder, Bray's or CM Punk's?
I think Punk's still. They're close, and it's kind of hard to judge. I mean, it sucks that the Punk thing ended up the way it did because that was such an awesome moment, and I think you can't take that away. And Bray's, it was kind of like quick and at the end of the show, and it was cool because it was kind of bit by bit, and the crowd kind of came up until full come, like you said. But it's tough to judge, but they were both amazing.
Yeah, I think Bray shows up tomorrow night, and I think Bray's was the loudest.
He definitely had the loudest holy shit chant I've ever heard.
Yeah, you might be right about that.
And it sucks. I mean, Triple H needs to. He's doing an amazing job with creative writing and all that, but you need to just tell USA Network, bruh, fuck you. I'm in charge. I don't want to hear no holy.
Yeah, that is so annoying.
I think Fox is the same way. Abby should be someone unexpected like Asuka. It's too obvious if it's Liv or Alexa. Give her a different change of character.
I'd be down for that. Or, anyone unexpected, I guess. Yeah. And then also you didn't mention there's two guys from the Kingdom that are coming over from Impact. Vincent and Dutch have been rumored to be a part of this as well. I don't really know Dutch because he didn't join Impact with the rest of those guys, so I had to look. I'm like, who is this guy? But Vincent, his character work has been really good from what I've seen on Impact. He hasn't wrestled much, or he's not much of that's not why he's there. So he seems like he'd be a good fit with Bray. But yeah, it's plenty options available here.
Why? I'm not talking to you, Tim. Why Carmella? She can't stop making underground porn with Corey Graves.
Yeah, I'm getting nude photos leaked, even though she says they're not hers. I
Bullshit.
Tim wants Carmella because he thinks she's hot. Duh.
Yeah, of course she's hot. Now, the so-called season premiere of, Raw. What do you think of these new commentary teams? Raw's now Corey Graves and Kevin Patrick. NXT is now Booker T, and is it still Vic Joseph?
I think so.
And NXT and SmackDown is now Michael Cole and Wade Barrett, which I got bitched at by probably some spam accounts. All I said was the night he debuted on SmackDown as the commentator with Michael Cole, I said, I'm so happy for him. I just hope they move him to Raw when Pat McAfee comes back after college football season is over, because I want McAfee and Cole back together. Yeah. And I got jumped for saying I didn't think Wade Barrett was good enough for SmackDown. He's good enough for anybody. I want to see him go bash Corey Graves on Raw, and Raw's better with a 3-man commentary team than just two.
I thought that was the most interesting thing, is that they're all 2-man teams now. But, when McAfee comes back, like you said, there could be some shuffling. So I'd never heard Kevin Patrick call a match. I know he'd been doing main event or whatever. I thought he was pretty good, and I think he needs to, turn his mic up or talk louder was one thing I noticed. But, he would kind of jab at who was he with again?
Corey. In main event? I could tell you the last time.
Who's he with on Raw? I mean,
he's with Corey Graves on Raw.
Graves, okay. So he was kind of giving it back to him at times. And, obviously he's got the accent, so that's a little different as well. But I liked him a little more than I thought I would. So, yeah.
You look at that commentary team, if you still think Corey Graves is the color commentator of this team, or he's the lead role?
No, I think Patrick was Patrick was the play-by-play, but Corey, kind of seems more like a lead, but he's still the color analyst. So
yeah, especially with his love antics of who he likes and who he doesn't like, especially how much he's obsessed with the Miz and Maurice, for prime example. Jordan, who's your favorite pair so far on commentary? Raw, SmackDown, or NXT's?
I'll say SmackDown.
Michael Cole and Wade Barrett. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good pair. I wish he'd just use it in a line like, I'm afraid I got some bad news, Michael Cole.
I love that. Yeah, when he'd get up on the podium.
Yeah.
So good.
What did you?
I told you I don't really watch NXT much these days, but
Oh yeah, that's fine. I mean, I'm just slowly started watching it
I
again.
used to love Booker T as an announcer because he was just so funny and out there and shucky ducky and just insane.
Good and he do all that shit.
Phase 5. So I'm happy that he's back. I was always entertained by him. So I do want to go back and check. Like, I pay attention, of course. Like, I want to watch all the Nathan Fraser Axiom matches because I've heard those are good. And I really like both those guys. And I haven't seen Axiom as Axiom, just as A-Kid as he was previously. So, yeah, I think it's cool that they're shaking it up, I guess.
Oh, yeah. So, I just started watching NXT after they dropped the 2.0 name. And then you could say going back to the black and gold brand, if you want to call it.
I mean, I loved that. That kind of tailed off towards the end, but back when they had the first takeover, I didn't miss a takeover from there. So I was always pretty into that. But so I'll kind of see, as it kind of develops, if I'm hearing good things or seeing good things, like certainly not against it, but there's just so much wrestling out there. And I, as you know, watch so much fucking Japanese wrestling, like 4 different companies. So
exactly.
Only so much time in a day.
I'm just started watching it more. I'm familiar with most of these names, but I'm getting used to some. But I'm excited. Like, I will watch Halloween Havoc. It's not a weekday special on USA. It's going to be a PLE on Peacock. Shout out to Get Your Podcast in the Air. What's up?
That's interesting. So it's on Saturday. Okay, the 22nd.
And I thought it.
Check that out. Not live, but.
It's next Saturday. I thought it was going to be like at the end of the month, but no, it's October. I think it's 22nd.
That's it. Yeah.
So I'm excited about it. We're going to be doing a Halloween Havoc episode live stream sometime next week. We're going to talk things with Halloween Havoc. We'll love and hate about it, and we're going to predict the 5 or 6 matches on the card at the end of the show next week. Let's talk about Raw. So the season premiere of Monday Night Raw was in the BK. 25-year anniversary of DX, which was so damn good. We were just missing daddy-ass Billy Gunn, who was, according to Corey Graves, he was playing with office tools or something like that, what he said in the commentary. It was funny as hell.
Oh, yeah.
But, man, it was funny the way it started. Like, he choked the fucking rubber chicken.
Oh, the chicken, yeah. That was some good old, classic dumb comedy stuff. I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too.
I gotta say,
Triple H is the boss now and still doing that shit, is kind of cool.
Yeah, I will say, I mean, Raw was fantastic. I loved a lot of shit that happened, but I gotta say, my number one thing I enjoyed more, Seth Rollins is finally a champion for the first time since 2019. He wins the United States Championship from Bobby Lashley. The second biggest thing I loved the much, we got the return of Anderson and Gallows, formerly known as the Good Brothers. The OC is back together, and I'm looking forward to seeing if we're getting an OC Judgment Day feud, possibly maybe in Saudi Arabia. I love it.
I would think we will, and hopefully, definitely a AJ Finn singles match, which, being a big New Japan guy, a lot of Bullet Club history there, so I'm all about that. And I know they don't have that one random match at like a TLC 2017 or something, so to give them a proper feud, I think will be awesome. And I don't know if you know, so Carl Anderson is actually New Japan's never openweight champion currently. So, that's a whole thing as well that's very interesting. And, I know he's scheduled to defend that on November 5th, and obviously he's going to lose it, but that's a first, an active New Japan title holder in WWE. So, yeah, and that would have happened under Vince's watch. So, maybe,
and just at the beginning,
I see him doing it.
And at the beginning of the summer, they partnered up with AEW and formed a pay-per-view called Forbidden Door.
Yeah,
and so it's funny.
It's wild.
4 months ago, they were working with AEW, and now they're doing some work with WWE. And, Tony Khan probably had a fucking damn near overdose again on cocaine, and he's seriously not going to sit back and take his fucking shit.
Well, so now AEW announced a partnership with Pro Wrestling Noah, another Japanese company, solely because Great Muta's there, and they want to have Sting and Great Muta in this final Tokyo Dome. But he announced it as a partnership. So, we've seen DDT, which is where Takeshita's from. So we've seen that as well. And that's where Kenny Omega got his start. So it'll be interesting to see if any guys from Noah come over as well. I mean, I love any collaboration with Japanese companies. You guys know I love. So yeah, I think it's great. Get little Bullet Club or OC as they're called versus Judgment Day. I'll eat it up.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, I'm glad they back, and I think something gonna happen with Judgment Day and the OC.
For sure.
So Great Muta and Sting are going to have one last match together?
They're on the same team, I believe.
Oh, okay.
February 2023. So, it's going to be pretty cool. Because remember, Great Muta was on Dynamite.
Yeah, at Grand Slam.
So it happened basically, announced it a week after that. And me and my buddy have split the Noah subscription for the last year and a half. And it's up and down. It's definitely more kind of martial arts fighting based. I really like it a lot, but it's just interesting that all these partnerships are happening, and 2022 is the best fucking year of wrestling that's ever happened. And not even a question. It's crazy.
Yeah, we got a lot of great fun surprises and whatnot and collaborations. You can name it. Everything good and bad, all the above, it all happened in 1 year. 1 year after we just went back to normalcy. Well, we've been back at normalcy in America for the last year and a half, but for Canada, finally, I think it was about a month ago, they fucking lifted the whole mask mandate and can't cross the border here. Now they're letting anyone open. We'll talk more about later in this show.
Japan is that's been a whole thing. Their borders had been closed and tough for people to get in, and now Japan's wide open again, and they're promoting Wrestle Kingdom to American fans. Hey, you can finally come into Japan now. So, yeah, things are probably going to start getting more interesting because Tony Khan, back when Forbidden Door happened, had said AEW stars will be on Wrestle Kingdom. But now they're maybe in bed with WWE. So it's wild. I love it.
Me too. It's crazy. So also we get another surprise. Brock Lesnar comes back, who we haven't seen since SummerSlam. He's going after Bobby Lashley, which I'm glad Triple H must have saw my tweets or he must have answered my prayers because Triple H has been promoted to a god now. But Lashley's no longer U.S. champion, so we're most likely going to get a Brock Lesnar Bobby Lashley feud at Crown Jewel, but it doesn't need to be for a title. Brock is not going to go after a mid-card title. So I'm glad they put it on Seth. If we get Seth and Riddle one more time and it's for the U.S. title, fine, so be it. But
yeah. And I feel like they have, they're 1-1, so it makes sense. Seth will go over and then move on to the next thing.
Well, they're supposed to have one more match at Crown Jewel. Some people think it'll be Hell in a Cell. Some said Last Man Standing. They're going to try and do something outdoing the Fight Pit.
For sure. And the first Lashley-Lesnar match kind of sucked. So hopefully under Triple H, they'll do it right this time. And
that was Vince's Lashley-Lesnar match at the Rumble and having Roman get involved.
Rumble in general was so bad. I'm sorry to cut you off, but it sucked.
Well, hopefully next year's Rumble in San Antonio is going to be 10 times better. I'm on the debate of maybe going, but it depends on some family events going on that same weekend, so I can't make no promises yet. Just like I said, I'm going to go to SummerSlam because it's in Nashville, and I ended up not going. But how do you guys feel about Seth Rollins finally being champion, and it's a U.S. champion? I think this is his second reign as champion. Go ahead, Jordan. You go first.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Just at first, I thought they wasn't going to have the match, but then Seth grabbed the microphone and Bobby Lashley got in there and he won it. I'm glad he did.
Yeah, I loved it. I kind of thought it wasn't going to happen either. And Seth, just that conniving asshole, kind of cutting him down. Come on, Bobby, it was so good to the point where he's like, fuck this motherfucker. I got to go. And, he still got some offense in. So for like a 2.5-minute match, it felt like a Money in the Bank cash-in scenario where one guy was kind of beaten down, fresh guy. And yeah, I remember Rollins held the U.S. title. He beat Cena for it at SummerSlam, the Jon Stewart match, because that was for both titles.
And he was a double champion for like 4 weeks. And so we can still get a Gunther Lashley match. I think Survivor. They said this now that Survivor Series is going to have War Games. They're not going to do SmackDown versus Raw. It's just like all open, like not the wild card rule. It's like I think they're about to drop this brand extension shit because they said back in the summer, October, we were supposed to have a superstar shakeup or a draft. It's the season premiere and we ain't had either. So I think they're about to drop this brand extension shit.
We shall see. I kind of like the Bears jerseys.
I'm not even watching that part yet.
I just have it on. Justin Fields just took a horrible sack.
Yeah, Justin Fields sucks though.
Well, yeah.
But the Commanders suck even more.
Yep. It's a game of suck.
Horrible name.
We'll see if it is as bad as last week's game, which fortunately I didn't watch. But wait, when did Gunther and Rollins have a match?
I don't remember they having this either. Dylan must know something we don't know. But also, okay, so next week we're getting another return. We're getting Elias back, but not Ezekiel. How do you guys feel about Elias coming back?
So I'll admit I wasn't watching during the Ezekiel era. Of course, caught some videos and whatnot, and I thought it was pretty funny, but I guess I don't really have much of an opinion. But I always liked Elias at the time when he was hot. And now that I'm into this again, I'm happy he's back.
Jordan, how about you?
Yeah, I'm happy he's back, and I'm ready to see him next week.
No, this question is for Jordan and for the people watching because I'm about to have some comments coming in. But let's say he comes back. Do we get Kevin Owens interrupting you and saying, "Oh, I knew you were Elias. You're Ezekiel and Elias." Bring that whole fucking storyline back together.
Yeah, I think he comes out and
okay. They were in the UK. Rollins did an open challenge. He was still Walter and Alexander Wolf was still in Imperium.
I don't know if I've seen that or if I wonder if look at Justin. God damn it. I love it.
Justin's the new encyclopedia of wrestling, people. I didn't even know nothing about this. All I remember from 2019 was that was the last time we had a lot of fun for a long time. And 2019 was actually a good year of wrestling for AEW side. WWE was kind of like on that bumpy road. Like they were great when The Fiend was champion. They were great when Seth Rollins was champion. When Lesnar was champion, it was kind of downhill. When Becky won the title, it was great. Roman getting up in the higher break goes down. 2019 was a bumpy road for WWE. There was a lot of good and a lot of bad.
There's been a lot of bumpy roads for them these past several years. Let's be honest. Sorry.
Oh, you good. Anything else you guys enjoyed on Raw Monday night? Let's see. Rey Mysterio being a fucking pussy.
Sami Zayn.
Oh, yes.
So again, I haven't been watching all of SmackDown every week because I'm usually not home. I usually work Friday nights and can't DVR Fox, which is stupid. So I'll stream it sometimes, but I've just kind of caught a lot of the clips of him being the honorary Uce, and then he's been on Raw more recently, but I thought this was all gold. That opening segment was so good. Them kind of turning against Jey Uso and Roman, we're going to go party, but you got to stay here. And then Sammy ends up losing, and kind of Jey lets it happen. So, again, from kind of coming in somewhat cold, I'm already fully invested in this and whatever's going to happen out of it. So, yeah, I loved it all.
Oh, I love Sami Zayn being part of the bloodline now. Jordan, how about you?
The dancing he does was just so good.
So he got more funnier ever since his match with Johnny Knoxville at WrestleMania. He turned a lot funnier. Even though he looks like a homeless person, he needs to kind of trim the beard up and cut the hair a little bit.
I think that kind of showed how damn good and how funny he is. So it's I think he's just been getting more of an opportunity to be that character, I guess.
I love his fucking little handshake with Jimmy Uso. He's like, ha, 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 ha.
It's all great.
He's great. I don't know. then he just looks at Roman, and Roman's like, "Oh, he's your problem now. Like, you're the problem."
And he's like, "Can I handle this?" Like he kind of made it a point to say, like, I can handle Jay, and then Jay kind of let him lose. So
it's not going to be him, but some people like how he's acting. But down the road, they want Sammy to be challenging Roman next. But that could never. He couldn't dethrone Roman. I'm sorry, not Sami Zayn.
I still wouldn't mind seeing the match, but yeah, I mean, I thought Drew should have won, and I'm kind of over the whole thing, to be honest. So yeah, it is what it is.
Well, what would you two rather? Would you rather see Sammy versus Roman, or Sammy and Kevin Owens versus the Usos?
That for sure, the tag team, because I would love, because they were so great in Ring of Honor together back in 2007. I mean, I haven't seen a ton of it. And then they obviously had the blood rivalry after. Like, had they tagged together in WWE? I mean,
they've tagged a bit, but not a lot. Like they tagged at WrestleMania against Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan.
That's right.
I was there for that.
I forgot about that. Sheesh. Yeah, Tim and I have been talking about that on his show for a while. Like, seeing those two unite. At this point, the path doesn't seem super clear on how we would get that. But, clearly – This is like kind of step one in Sammy like doing something that Roman's not going to like. So, I mean, maybe he's going to get kicked out eventually, and that's when he joins KO. So I guess I just answered my own question right there. But, yeah, I would love to see that.
Well, before one more talk with the Roman and the Bloodline, with his match coming up with Logan Paul, what's your interest in this? I mean, are you excited that we're getting Logan Paul in the main event of a WWE pay-per-view for a title shot, or you just don't really care?
I'd say I'm kind of in the middle. I don't think he deserves it, but wasn't it basically like one of the Saudi princes requested it kind of thing?
That's telling.
I had read something about that, but I think he's been really, really good. So I guess you could say he's deserved it in that he's like not a shitty wrestler, but come on. I mean, especially in the midst of this super long reign, you're going to put him up against this celebrity, but whatever, he can go in the ring. It'll probably be a good match. I think it'd be better if Roman wasn't champion. Let's put it that way. Like if Drew had won the belt and then you do this match, I would be a lot more like into it, I guess.
Yeah. What about you, Jordan? Are you really interested in it, or you don't care?
I really don't care.
I mean, I really don't care for Logan Paul either, but I wouldn't mind seeing him get taken down by the Tribal Chief. And yeah, I knew that too, Justin. Tag titles was the only title KO has never won to be a Grand Slam.
Okay.
Would you still consider him a Triple Crown, even though he just won the Universal title, the US, and the Intercontinental, or a tag team has to count as a Triple Crown?
Yeah, I think it's like all the different types, like,
a mid-card, a tag title, and a world title. Yeah, I figured that too.
Yeah.
So, damn, that one title's keeping them as a Triple Crown and a Grand Slam.
And it would be fitting with those two win it together, I think, like with everything they've been through, mostly on opposite sides throughout their WWE career. And like I said, they have such a rich history before they joined WWE too. So like they have like 20 years worth of story between them. So this could kind of be like another capping moment. So yeah, I love it.
Here's my last take on Raw before we move on to AEW. What's your take with the whole Rey Mysterio Judgment Day feud, especially Dominic turning on his dad and convincing him to hit me, and Rey's just being a giant pussy and don't want to do nothing with Dom, and he just cries like a little bitch.
Hit me!
And Rhea Ripley like mind fucking Dominic to tell him to say this and that.
I love any and everything Rhea Ripley. That's for sure. It's fine, whatever. I know Justin is very against the Judgment Day. We've said that before. Again, coming in at the spot that I did, I'm interested, but it's almost like that they had that Mysterio shit, and then the Good Brothers came back, so it's like you kind of forget about that. But it's all kind of tied to the Judgment Day. So, clearly they're a key part of the show. They've been getting a lot of time. And yeah, I mean, it's going to lead to Rey and Dominic fighting. Dominic's at least more interesting like this, but he still has no charisma whatsoever. Hit me! It's just bad. Like if you're trying to be a tough guy or like a bad guy, It's just not convincing, but yeah, that's fine with me. And the match. So I've really only seen Dominic in ring, like the Rollins match and maybe like a couple others. So I remember him as being like decent, and maybe he'll step it up in this match. But yeah, it was a little lame though.
Jordan.
Yeah, I just love the Judgment Day.
Hell
Yeah. Well, Ray's not going to step up to the plate and fight his own son. We were talking about one particular match down the road, so I think I just completed an actual fantasy book in here. What do you guys think? The OC, AJ Styles, Anderson, Gallows, and Edge versus Judgment Day, including Rhea Ripley, in an intergender War Games match.
I'd be down for it, of course. That'd be sick to see Rhea in there with. She can hang. She's a fucking beast.
Now, if they could find a fifth member of Judgment Day, then I would throw Rey Mysterio in it. But Rey Mysterio's too much of a pussy. He's not gonna go and tag his own son. So that's why I said I'm glad the OC's back. Let the OC and Edge be that team. Now, if they want to, also if you want to throw a fifth person on Judgment Day, put Beth Phoenix in it. Let Beth Phoenix and Rhea Ripley go at it in the War Games.
Definitely do that.
But I want them one-on-one.
Yeah, I bet that'll happen at some point. I mean, it certainly seems like they're building to something between those two. So
now it's obvious we're going to see the Bloodline as a team in War Games with or without Sammy. But who could step up to face the Bloodline as an actual team? You think Logan Paul's going to make a team of his own with just random guys?
Kevin Owens, Gargano. I mean, because Owens has been standing up against them a good amount. I mean, who else could they get? Drew McIntyre, maybe. It'd be like kind of a random team, like an all-star team of sorts. Maybe you have. I don't know.
Whether if it's 4-on-4 or if they add Sammy as the fifth member. I mean, we gotta have the Bloodline in a War Games match. There's not often you're gonna have a whole actual family together like that, a family of cousins.
Do you think it's going to be the Bloodline, or will it be Judgment Day?
Or
how many more matches are they having?
Well, they were advertising too. They were going to have a women's and a men's, but they might make the men's. I mean, I threw that as hey, make it an intergender if you're going to put Rhea Ripley teaming up with guys against other men. She's like a modern version of China nowadays. She can fucking take on men. She fucking beat up Rey Mysterio. She's beat up Dominic before he joined. She's beat God knows who else she beat up. Justin said his booking was Edge, Beth, Ray, and AJ versus Judgment Day. That's obvious, yeah. But I think we're going to see a six-man tag before. I could see the OC versus Finn, Damian, and Dominic Mysterio or Dominic at Crown Jewel. If he's old enough to compete in Saudi Arabia. I think there's an age limit.
He's like in his mid-20s, isn't he?
I know, it's a joke because, Saudi Arabia always got these fucked up rules like women can't vote, women can't drive, women have to be fully covered. Yeah. Men can't have the religious tattoos showing. Oh, that's why Sami Zayn doesn't go to Saudi Arabia because Sami's beliefs with Saudi. When Aleister Black was in WWE, he couldn't compete in Saudi because he had some tattoos on his body that was very offensive to Saudi. So, and then who would even travel to Saudi? Remember when they were first going? Some people refused to go. Yeah. Like Daniel Bryan didn't want to go. I think John Cena didn't want to go the second time.
No. Sami Zayn.
Yeah. Yeah, make it happen at WrestleMania, Triple H. Fuck that piece of shit. All right, let's talk about AEW last night. After being a company for 3 years, they finally crossed the border and they head to Canada. And I called it. I said, if they go to Canada first, they're going to go to Toronto. So they go to Toronto, Canada. Plus, we get the debut of Jon Moxley's wife, Renee Paquette, as the new backstage announcer. I thought she was going to join the commentary team at first. I'm like, good, we got somebody to replace Jim Ross. But no, it's just whoever the announced team was. It was Excalibur, Tony Schiavone, and Taz.
Yeah.
That's your team, right? I like that commentary team. Jim Ross, I'm sorry, you're one of the all-time greats, but you're getting old. You need to retire, buddy. You did your time. But where do we even start first? Okay, first match, we had Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. Great match. That springboard over the top rope, springboard powerbomb through the table, and Luchasaurus was fucking sweet.
That was tight.
Yeah, that
But
was.
of course, Christian Cage had to ruin it. I stepped out for a bit, and I texted Jordan. I said, hey, tell me who wins. I had to step out, and then he texted me, Luchasaurus won. And I was like, I fucking knew it.
It was a good match.
Yeah.
I thought it was very well worked. They did some cool moves. I thought pretty good drama. Yeah, I liked it. Luchasaurus getting the win was definitely the right call. You have the baby face kind of chase. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. Great way to start.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. Jungle Boy is my favorite. So,
Well, there you go. That's easy.
That crowd was loud, too, when Tarzan Boy played. That might have been the loudest
Huge
Tarzan.
pop. Yeah.
That was probably louder than Arthur Ashe and Chicago combined.
Damn. It was very loud.
Well, I got a question for you. Are you going to be at Dynamite in Cincinnati next Tuesday night?
Sure as fuck am, yeah, and I can't fucking wait. I mean, my two favorite wrestlers in the company
In the main event? Yep.
Yeah. Hometown Mox, you got the MJF thing lingering. Now that we know what that chip is, before All Out, I was or after All Out, I was like, I didn't want it to be like Money in the Bank, but now that it's been established, like,
I mean, it's technically, you could call it a ripoff of Money in the Bank or a ripoff of Call Your Shot from Impact. It's basically the same
kind of
shit.
Yeah.
Except it's not a briefcase or whatever Impact is, it's a poker chip.
Yeah. But I thought, Hangman's promo was
Oh my God.
unbelievable. Maybe
I'm here, fight me, or what?
and just like, talking about just the realism of it. Like, I'm depressed, I can't sleep. Like, that's relatable shit. The medicine's not working, but I keep coming back because I'm a man. And he fucking punched himself, and you could tell he really hit himself because it was red, and he kept coming back to it. And it was amazing. Mox was great too. It's like if I didn't think I could get any more excited for that match. And I also didn't know how I was going to be rooting for until I watched the show today. Hangman, but I have 3 Hangman shirts and 2 Moxley shirts. I don't know what I'm going to wear yet, but I can't wait. And
it's most likely
here.
Most likely Moxley's going to retain in his hometown, but this is what I don't understand. They're doing it on a Tuesday night because of NBA tip-off. Didn't you move to TBS to avoid having another night show?
No, it's because of the MLB playoffs.
Oh, okay.
See,
if this would have been TNT, they'd have had to move because of the NBA tip-off.
It has nothing to do with NBA. It's MLB.
Well, they sure can't get a break with shit because now wait till March Madness. They're gonna do the same shit when the NCAA tournament starts.
Yeah.
That's gonna be even dumber. Like, you might as well just go to a network that don't fucking play sports. Go to HBO or some shit.
I'm just happy because it's a Tuesday show. Clearly, they wanted to make it special, and I'm just happy it's here and I get to be there.
But that promo was amazing. Jordan, what did you think of that promo Hangman cut on Moxley?
I think the promo was badass.
Hell yeah!
I'll tell you what else was badass. What about the return of the Perfect 10, Sean Spears?
That was sweet. I definitely enjoyed that.
So on Rand,
I was like, what is he? Why is he calling out 10? And is 10 for? I don't think 10's Canadian. And then I'm like, oh, it's
no, he's from Michigan. No, Dark Order's 10. Preston Vance, he's from Michigan, but
that's who I thought he was talking about at first when he was saying 10.
Well, when he said 10 o'clock, I'm like, no, dumbass. Maybe 10 o'clock Eastern time, 9 Central. But I was like, you're in Central time. It starts at 9 o'clock Central. And then I was like, wait, are they doing a countdown? No. I mean, I hear a song. I'm like, dude, that sounds familiar. And I was like, that was Sean Spears, Ty Dillinger, his theme song in NXT, and then his short time on the main roster. And I'm like,
that was the same song?
Yeah.
I did not realize that. How about that's interesting?
I'm like, how did Tony Khan pull this off?
Yeah, that is.
How much did it cost him to get that right to that song? How much did he pay the CFOs to get that?
Definitely not worth it, whatever it was. No offense to Sean Spears, but probably wasn't cheap.
Well, I think I found out all along. I've been wanting to know how much I found out, courtesy, shout out to our buddy Battle from the Battleground podcast. He interviewed Diamond Dallas Page. Turns out we found out Vince McMahon paid $5 million for that WCW library.
Jeez.
That's very cheap. I was thinking it was like maybe $300,000. So no, he paid $5 million. So Justin's not a fan of Sean Spears and Mandy Rose and whoever else he don't like.
I like wait, who did he? Sorry, I was looking at my phone.
Justin said, "Boo, Sean Spears."
So I think Spears. Yeah, he's fine, but I think he's like really funny, and he don't really get to show it. Like when he did commentary on like AEW Dark on like one of the first few shows when they were just bringing people in, and he was like really, really good. So I feel like Sean Spears doesn't get enough credit for like being, he's not shit, but he's really funny.
Okay, I didn't really get to watch much of this backstage interview, but when MJF was interviewed,
awesome.
they have supposedly is he going face now, or he's kind of just neutral?
Yeah, he was kind of, he's been teasing it last week with Yuta and the handshake, and then with this. I mean, it was another hell of a promo talking about basically how, if you don't like me, tough shit. I don't like me either. Kind of MJF being vulnerable. He did it in the CM Punk feud when he kind of cut that amazing face promo. And this is probably the only other time he's really kind of done that. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't know. I kind of hope he stays kind of like a tweener, for lack of a better term, and can kind of go both ways depending on the opponent. But it was amazing. He's the best.
I'll tell you what sucks. Fucking Smart Mark Sterling owning the rights to the Scissor Me Daddy ass.
Great.
Scissor Me Daddy niece. So now.
Hold on. I love that fucking guy, man.
Well, I loved. Shout out to fucking Tony Schiavone, fucking calling Smart Mark Sterling, and Tony Nese is like something like, I tweeted it on our code and I die laughing. He says, "Oh great, he's just a lawyer and a Mets fan." Because the Braves beat the Mets in Game 2 of the playoffs. That was funny as shit ever. They, I guess we're potentially going to get a Josh Woods and Tony Nese tag match with the Acclaim, maybe a tag title match at Dynamite. And the winner, if Acclaim wins, they get their name and they get the rights back to Scissor Me Daddy Ass. It's just something simple.
Yeah, I like it. It gives it a reason,
Maybe on Rampage. I said Dynamite. Maybe on Rampage.
The Acclaimed aren't going to lose, and
No, they're the hottest tag. Well, outside of FTR, they're the hottest tag team in AEW
in the world, arguably.
Speaking of FTR, Tony Khan, what is your fucking problem with FTR? They're barely showing them on TV, and now the only way we could see them is on your lowest rated show, Rampage. By the way, they're teaming up with Sean Spears to take on Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony in a trios tag match. I might have to watch Rampage for the first time in a long time. I'm looking forward to it. You know who's going to win that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they're in Canada. Sean's going to win in his backyard.
No doubt.
Let's see what else happened. Okay, I really didn't pay attention to the women's tag match. I heard Hikaru Shida and Toni Storm won. So is Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker still friends, or are they actually no longer friends?
No, I think there's nothing really happened in that regard, I don't think. But they did announce also Tuesday will be Toni Storm against Hikaru Shida, which I love because I'm a big Shida fan. So that'll be a cool one.
Is it for the title?
Yeah, for the interim bullshit. But yeah.
Oh, God. That's why I thought they should have just took it off Thunder Rosa.
I know. It's stupid. The interim is stupid. But, again, that's another pretty tight match for this show. So, they also announced, we'll hear from MJF. We'll hear from Danielson and Yuta, I think. But, yeah.
All right, so before we talk about this match, shout out to that Toronto crowd for just randomly singing Judas when they played that stupid Lionheart theme. They still sung it, and that crowd was fired up. I thought some said the match was kind of slow and it wasn't as good as people thought, but it had a fucking weird ending. What the hell? Daniel Garcia is now back with JAS, costing Bryan Danielson the Ring of Honor World Title, and Jericho with 1,000 nicknames retains his championship.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. What I don't love is they kind of just did the exact same thing with Luchasaurus, where he kind of turned back. So I don't like that they've done it twice, but I thought this one was a lot better than that. Because Garcia never really officially, there was never any "I'm out of Jericho Appreciation Society." He's on record that Danielson's his favorite wrestler ever. He was kind of torn which way to go. Jericho challenged him to the match. So I liked it because I don't think he ever really turned face. He was just kind of teetering back and forth. And, this kind of cemented him as a heel. And as William Regal would always say, like, I don't want him in the Blackpool Combat Club because we need good fighters to fight against. Mm-hmm. And I still think the Garcia as the wrestler in the sports entertaining faction is good. So, yeah, while the Garcia face, it would have been awesome. And we're going to get it at some point, but I liked it overall.
Jordan, what did you think of Daniel Garcia turning on Bryan?
I liked it. I liked the match, and the ending of the match was great.
I think, they had a match not long ago, but if they have another match again, I was like, what the hell? I was looking forward to Daniel Garcia taking some learning lessons from Bryan Danielson, but I have a funny, good, he's back. I was kind of like shocked a bit, and I was like, this is going to suck, but I'm like, if they're going to put them in a feud, they better have a fucking banger match that's like going to be match of the year type shit. But I had a joke made that made people like, oh, that's so fucking stupid. Because, Tony Khan sometimes makes stupid decisions. And could you imagine if Daniel Garcia, Bryan Danielson were a tag team and they called them the Daniels?
I'd be down for it.
That's just a weird name. Daniel Garcia turning on Danielson was pointless. A good storyline that Tony Khan ruined, No, the name, he's getting these tag team names. He's giving her stupid, like, I love Samoa Joe and Wardlow as a team, but can you think of a better name than Wardlow?
That's such a, Vince name when they did, Jera Show and shit like that. Yes. And while we're on that subject, Wardlow does not need to be, he is so poorly booked. Why is he in a tag team? He's the TNT champ. I thought the match against Cage last week was really good, and I've been saying on our show and Tim's for a while, it's like, feed Wardlow the monsters. He can have really good matches with all these guys. He's doing nothing,
No, wait, it gets even worse. Tony Khan gave Tony Storm and Hikaru Shida a team name too, right?
No.
Shidstorm.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Wait, first she was Thunderstorm with Thunder Rosa. Now she's Shidstorm with fucking Hikaru Shida.
I thought you said Shitstorm. And
shit, but it makes you sound like shit.
I thought you were making a joke as in Shitstorm.
The joke is this women's division that Tony Khan can't fucking run. First off, I am not looking forward to this on Rampage. Nyla Rose is parading around with Jade's fucking title, which I wish Jade don't have no more. Now she's fighting Anna JAS on Rampage. Anna's going to get brutally fucking murdered. I'm sorry. I hate Nyla Rose, but Nyla's going to fuck her ass up.
That belt shouldn't even exist.
I wish Chris Statlander would come back so she could take it off of Jade.
Yeah, that's probably going to be a little while.
I'll tell you what else. What I really loved the most last night on Dynamite. Finally, Orange Cassidy is a champion, baby.
Great.
That was a fucking. I think that match was that match better than their match at Revolution 2 years ago?
It's pretty close. I think the Revolution one's still probably just because of the moment. That was his absolute breakout. But obviously, this was cool to see him finally win the belt. And their feud has just been awesome. And then you had them in that triple threat with Kenny last year. They've always kind of been tethered together. So for him to win it off Pac, I think was great. And yeah, that match was Pac doing the slow kicks. I thought was awesome. And man, his selling was unbelievable. The way he would take those DDTs and even the I was about to say Superman punch, the orange punches. His body was fucking flying around. Yeah, that was good shit.
He got tombstoned on the stage.
Oh, no, I was watching that during. I'll sometimes watch the picture-in-picture. I wasn't watching live, so I DVR'd. I usually fast-forward commercials, but I watched through it, and that was I guess that's the part I don't love is like that's a move that should like end a match right there.
Well, I don't.
Like
it's
the rolling down to the ring was funny, but like that's a brutal move right there.
no. When AEW goes to picture in picture, I change the channel and look like I think I was watching something else. I was watching hockey last night, which I got something to say about that. But Jordan, how do you feel about Orange Cassidy finally becoming a champion since he's one of the original day ones of AEW?
Yeah, I'm glad that he won the belt, and it was a banger of a match.
Oh yeah, and I didn't see those because I turned it off after they showed him raising the title. But I saw they had orange confetti flying and everything. I was waiting for best friends to come out and like hold him up with victory, but that's what we need next. Chuck and Trent need to be one day be tag champions, not now because I'm loving the Acclaim as champions. And then Chris Statlander, I'm ready for her to come back, and whether if it's the TBS championship or the AEW women's title, she is another one that deserves to be a champion.
No doubt.
Speaking of hockey, I mean, I'm in back and forth. Like I love watching hockey. You know, I don't really take it that serious because we don't have it down here. The two closest teams to us is either 6 hours away or 9.5 hours away. If you're a Stars fan or a Preds fan, which I mean, I'm sure you're a hockey fan. Y'all got hockey up there where you at? I guess you're a Columbus Blue Jacket guy, or
I've never been like a big hockey. Like I like it. So interestingly enough, no, I'm not really a Blue Jackets guy. I've never been. It's like 2 hours away, not far, but. You know, they didn't come till we were like already teenagers, you know, so it's not like I grew up with it. I've only been to one NHL game and it was in Tampa.
Tampa Bay Lightning.
But I randomly, when I lived in Des Moines, Iowa in 2010, I worked for the minor league baseball team out there. And we and my roommate were like drunk one night watching the hockey playoffs, and it was the Kings versus the Canucks. And the Canucks had the Sedin twins, who were really good, but just really annoying. So we're like, fuck the Sedin twins. We became Kings fans. And then like, that's when I was into hockey the most. And I was a Kings fan. And 2 years later, they won the cup. And that was like the most into hockey I've been. But
Well,
I definitely
mean,
go to a Blue Jackets game because it's not far. And I've got a buddy that lives up there.
I mean, I've never been to NHL. I mean, I've seen minor league games. We used to have a hockey team in the ECHL down in my backyard. We used to go watch them all the time.
Yeah, Cincinnati Cyclones are in the ECHL.
We used to have a team called the Louisiana Ice Skaters out of Lafayette. But then they had other teams. They had a team in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Shreveport, Lake Charles. But Lake Charles was in a whole nother league. It wasn't ECHL. Yeah. But, you know, I mean, I like the Chicago Blackhawks at times. I've watched the Blackhawks a bit. They were one of the original teams when the NHL started I liked. You know, Vegas, I like the Golden Knights because I could say I've followed a team since day one. I've followed them since their inaugural season. But the only problem being a Vegas fan is I can't stay up at 9 o'clock every fucking night to watch a game because they're on the West Coast Pacific time. But I will say this: I do like to watch shit like if a team is a defending champion, I like to watch their banner the rise of the banner,
Who won
all
it
that.
this year?
The Colorado Avalanche, they beat the Tampa Bay Lightning last year.
Lightning were going for what, like 3 in a row or something?
Yeah, they were going for 3 in a row, and then Colorado won their third in franchise history, they said. Their last one was like 2001 or 2, and then they had one in 96, I think.
Yeah.
I would say this. I'm not big on teams in Colorado. You know, I got a okay thing. Broncos are cool, you know, except John Elway ain't the fucking owner no more. The Walmart guy or whatever the fuck you want to call him owns them. I don't give a shit for the Rockies. I don't give a shit for the Denver Nuggets. But I will say this: the Avalanche, I like their fans, especially when they sing All the Small Things by Blink-182. That's like their fucking song.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I remember, I think it was game 5 or 6. I saw a reel on Instagram, and it was the whole fucking arena singing All the Small Things. And it was I felt like I was watching a European soccer game.
Yeah, that's sick.
And they did it last night. The lead singer of Blink-182 was at the banner presentation, and he got the crowd. They showed a video package of last season when they won the Stanley Cup and all the fans' reactions, and they were singing All the Small Things, and they kept showing the crowd, and they had those like flickering colored lights. Remember like at Revolution with the Chicago crowd, that wave and shit?
Yeah,
They had that. It was awesome.
Yeah. On the same day that Blink-182 announced their comeback tour with Tom DeLonge. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping to see them. There's closest to here is like Chicago, Nashville, which Chicago's like 5 hours, Nashville's like 4. So I'm hoping to. I saw them when Tom was gone with Matt Skiba from Alkaline Trio. It was still awesome, but
I have a funny story about being invited to be a fan of this hockey team, but I got some family that live in Tennessee, and they know I'm not going to be a Titans fan because that's who they besides the Saints, they're big Tennessee Titan fans, but they love the Nashville Predators. Like that's their like number one team in Tennessee.
Predators, yeah.
They tried to get me to when I was down there. They were like, "Bro, you need to come to a Preds game one day. You need to become a Preds fan. You'd love it." And I'm like, I looked at it. I was like, "Bro, I don't know if I could be a fan with a team name that reminds me of pedophiles. When I hear Predators, I think of pedophiles." But their mascot is a saber-toothed tiger. Yeah, I get it. They're talking about ancient animals from the past and whatnot. I was meant to share this earlier. Justin said, I'd be worried to put my cards on Statlander. She seems way too injury prone. If you put the TBS title on her and it happens again, we'll see another interim title situation all over again. He's got a point.
Yep, absolutely. And I think I think she's not coming back anytime. I think that was like a 9-month thing. So
I think it was an ACL tear.
Yeah. So,
Jordan, do you like anybody in hockey or you don't really watch it?
I watch it, but I like it, but I don't like.
Yeah, I don't follow a team permanently. Yeah, I love Vegas and I like the Blackhawks. But I mean, occasionally I might root for the Islanders one week, or I'm a root for a team in Canada or some shit. But I like Colorado too. I like their fans.
I'm a big NBA fan, so there's
you like the Dallas Mavericks.
Well, yes, among others. I'm more a players guy, but I like Spencer Dinwiddie was always my guy, and like who doesn't love Luka? The Mavericks and the Cavs now because that's the closest team, well, other than Indy, and they suck now. But they got Donovan Mitchell. I went to Louisville, so I love Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
And I just think that Cavs team is young and fun. And, so I'd say Cavs and Mavs are the teams I'm kind of rooting for this year.
Well, I'm a New Orleans guy, even though Zion Williamson played for Duke, and I'm a Tar Heels fan when it's basketball season. But, hey, we got a fucking stack.
I mean, if he plays, that team's going to be good.
I know they're undefeated in preseason, but if he can stay away from being injured, they might have a shot. But
at least to make some noise for sure, because that was a tough team last year without him.
Well, they're now. I don't really think this makes a shit. They're favored to win Brooklyn on opening night because LaMelo Ball's out.
Well, he plays for Charlotte.
Or the other Ball, was it Lonzo?
He plays for the Bulls.
Well, then it's the other brother. There's 3 of them in the NBA, huh?
I don't think the other one's in it, no.
Well, I don't know why someone told me that. And then I said the same shit. I'm like, wait, I thought one of them plays for fucking Hornets and the other one plays for the Bulls.
Yeah.
I think he was fucked up.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
But, I mean, as long as Zion and Brandon Ingram doesn't get hurt, because, C.J. McCollum can't run that team on his own. Jackson Hayes can't run that team on his own. And Hunter can't even run that team on his own.
I'm a fan of C.J., and I think they definitely clicked last year when they got him, for sure. So adding Zion to that, that group already, yeah, they're going to be good.
All right. Save the best for last. I've been waiting for this game for freaking damn near 6 months when I heard they put this game on the schedule. I'm just glad it's not in London. They wanted to put it in London because they were worried the Saints were going to be biased because of the homecoming of Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase back in Louisiana. Because the last time they were in the Dome, they won the national championship and became the greatest team in college football history. But it's all sort of different reunions. I mean, we got former Saints players like Trey Hendrickson, Von Bell, and fuck you, Eli Apple, coming back, and Andy Dalton, a former Cincinnati Bengal.
There's all sorts of threads in this game. Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, Andy Dalton was drafted to the Bengals. What was it, 2012?
Yes, second round.
From TCU? Yeah.
I'm glad we took A.J. Green first overall that year.
And, yeah, A.J. Green played for Georgia.
2011 it was. 2011. But
but y'all did so well with Trey Hendrickson, and y'all did so well with Von Bell,
both of those guys, man, have been awesome. I mean, Hendrickson was great for you all. We just paid him, and I think Bell, he was always good, but I think the Saints just didn't want to re-sign him, and he's been, a linchpin of our defense these last few years, and he's got 3 picks in the last 2 games, and he had only 2 in his career before that. So
yeah, we're still not 100% sure if Andy Dalton's going to be a starter again or is Jameis coming back, but Ken Taysom Hill had the game he had last week with the Seahawks. 3 touchdowns, 112 total yards on 9 carries.
And one of them was a passing touchdown, right?
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, that guy's unbelievable.
Andy Dalton threw for 187 yards. He did throw 1 pick, but he completed 16 of his 24 passes. Yeah, one was that touchdown pass to Taysom Hill.
Yeah. I mean, Andy Dalton is what he is, at this point. He's a great backup quarterback, and he can come in and win you games. So, so here's an interesting stat. This is if he does start, this would be the 3rd different team in 3 years that Dalton has started against the Bengals. 2 years ago, he was with the Cowboys, and then last year with the Bears. And Andy Dalton is 2-0 against the Bengals, interestingly enough.
Yeah, well, Dylan just announced that Andy Dalton is starting.
Oh,
but
hell yeah. I love it.
Now,
it's more intriguing overall, I think.
How are y'all dealing with the vulgar fans right now? I mean, y'all are defending AFC champions, but y'all 2-3, but 3 of those losses came from by a field goal or by overtime.
2 or 3 points every loss. Yeah, it's been a bit of a tough start to the season, obviously, with the expectations higher than they've ever been. I think it's still a bit of a shock that we went to the Super Bowl last year after not winning a playoff game essentially my whole life. I think I was like 2 years old when we did. So, I think it was expected to be somewhat of like a Super Bowl hangover, so to speak. Losing to the Steelers that first game fucking sucked because now we know.
But it was heartbreaking. I'll say that, especially the way it just made that boom.
Well, the long snapper getting hurt. Like, who would have thought that would have affected so much? Like, our kicker missed 2 kicks because of it.
The Cowboys' loss pissed me off more than that Ravens loss.
So the thing was, those first 2 games. So we have like virtually a brand new offensive line, and they sucked the first 2 weeks, plain and simple. Like, Burrow just couldn't do anything, and now they've started to gel. But still, the big thing is teams are basically double-teaming the shit out of Jamar Chase. He had a really good first game, like 120 yards and a touchdown, but other than that, he's been held in check. So, T. Higgins has been good, but he got hurt early in the game last week and didn't come back. So, yeah, I mean, fans here are getting a little restless for sure because the second half of our schedule is much tougher. We've got the likes of Tampa, Buffalo, Kansas City. So we've got some heavy hitters coming up. So I hate to say this is one of our winnable games, I think, that we should take care of business, I hope. But, I know you guys obviously have some injuries. We've got, like, our left tackle's probably going to be out. Higgins might be out again. So it's going to be an interesting game. I'm really excited about it. Is it 1 o'clock start, right? Or noon?
Yeah, 1 o'clock Eastern time on CBS. So AFC, about an AFC coverage, you could say. But both teams coming in 2-3. Cincinnati is the favorite, -1.5. So we're the underdogs.
Yeah.
Who would be your top 3 impact players going to this game? I would say, for example, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and maybe Hayden Hurst.
Yeah, I mean, on offense especially. I mean, I'm going to say Joe Mixon, though, because though he had been awful before last game, he was 2nd in the NFL in carries and lowest in yards per carry, lowest in a lot of different categories. He was like 2.7 yards a carry.
14 carries against the Ravens for 78 yards.
He had a really good, for how he was, a much better game. They got the run game going, so – if they can continue to do that, I think that'll help things out. But, yeah, how do you not say Burrow and Chase, So I'll toss Mixon in there. But, yeah, Hayden Hurst, Bengals fans love that guy already. He's got a lot of energy out there. He's had some good games. So, yeah, he's been a pleasant surprise because, that guy was a first-round pick 4 years ago. People forget, and this is his 3rd team already. So, clearly he's got the talent, and it seems to be in a pretty good situation here. But defensively, let's talk about the three Saints. We've already talked about them, but Hendrickson has been a fucking beast this year. I was at the Bengals-Jets game in New York, and he had 2.5 sacks and 2 forced fumbles. It was unbelievable. Von Bell, as I just said, 3 interceptions the last 2 weeks, had 2 in his career before that. He's been an impact player. And then Eli Apple, I know he fucking sucked in New Orleans, and everyone hates him, and he's still not great. However, if you remember, he had that play against Tyreek Hill at half of the Chiefs game to stop the touchdown, which I think won us the game. And overall, he played a lot better for us than he ever did for you all. But, you know, there's been a lot of shit talk from Saints fans and everything, and the Mardi Gras signs and all this. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, will it get –
Well, I mean, you might be seeing something that I'm not, because, you know, I know it's going to be so biased in the Dome. You know, there's going to be some Saints fans wanting to support Burrow. They're going to probably have LSU Burrow jerseys on. They might boo the Bengals but cheer him. But I think the last time I ever remember Saints fans and Bengals fans getting in altercations was the who dat and who they fucking shit.
Yeah, it's stupid. I mean, I don't really – you know, we each have the cheer. Who cares? Like, I was going to say, like, I thought of it earlier, like trying to combine the two. It was who det. Who det.
Who dat.
And who dat combined. Who det. Yeah, that's what I'll say. Who det.
Jordan, who do you think will have a more bigger impact coming back to the Dome, Joe Burrow or Jamar Chase?
I'll say Joe Burrow.
You think he's gonna avoid sacks, or he might take a couple sacks?
He might take a few sacks, maybe.
But 2 or 3 is much better than 7, which the first 2 games they gave up 13 sacks, and since then I think they've been averaging like 2.5 a game, 2.
I'm gonna have to find that on Twitter. I'm gonna see what the fuck he's saying.
So last year is when he talked shit. This year so I listened to a Bengals podcast that 2 of the beat writers put on, who I'm friends with. It's called Hear That Podcast Growlin'. Gonna put those guys over. But they said they've been, like, the media's been asking him and talking to him about the shit, but he hasn't said a word this year. Last year, he talked a lot of shit about the Saints and how the fans shat on him and look at me now type of deal. So I totally get it. And it's not like I'm an Eli Apple lover by any means, you know, and I don't think the guy's very good either. But like I said, he's been serviceable for us, and we're paying him like $4 billion. So game's going to be very interesting in a lot of different ways.
Yeah. What do you think Zach Taylor's going to bring to the Dome against Dennis Allen's Saints?
Yeah, hopefully, again, like I said, hopefully you can get that run game going. That's been huge.
Marshawn Lattimore might not play.
Yeah, both. Like I said, both teams have some key guys that are questionable. Lattimore, I think Olave, maybe one more of the receivers. Obviously, Jameis, you know, we don't know, or I guess he's out, Dylan said. But and we have, like I said, left tackle Jonah Williams, T. Higgins, might be a couple more. So, yeah, who plays and who doesn't play could swing this game potentially.
Well, I remember I asked you about this and you sent it to me as a tweet, but I said I think the biggest L the Bengals took this season was from renaming Paul Brown Stadium Paycor Stadium. And I remember you had a Joe Burrow shape shirt made with the Paycor logo, but it said pay more.
Hey, Joe. So it wasn't me. It was like a big thing, and someone made that graphic. But, yeah, it said Pay Joe Stadium instead.
Oh, I thought it said like pay more, like pay him more.
No, Pay Joe Stadium. So essentially they were one of only 3 NFL teams to not have their naming rights sold to their stadium, the other being Soldier Field and Lambeau Field. So this was the time to do it. They got hundreds of millions of dollars for it.
I figured, yeah, after the season they had making a trip to the Super Bowl, you know there was going to have changes coming, like maybe a stadium renovation or renaming a stadium. Sure. The white. What do you think of the white helmets?
Fucking loved it, man. I mean, that's
Jordan.
I like them too.
Yeah, fans have been wanting that for a long, and they painted the field white.
That was fucking sweet.
So
wait. Imagine if they just did some people want the full tiger back at midfield instead of the B.
I like the B.
I like the B too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I work the games, I'm on the field, and that was a pretty fucking like the intro for that game, the entrances with the lights out and all the white. It was awesome, man. That was one of the loudest regular season games I've ever been to, and I've been working there for 10 years now. So I've been to a lot of games, and that atmosphere was second to none for the regular season.
So I was looking up Paycor because I want to know what kind of business they are, and the only thing I could see is Paycor helps leaders develop their people and build winning teams. So they're basically like a human capital management.
And they
company.
do like payroll processing and shit like that.
So it's like a financial thing, right?
Yes.
Kind of like Lincoln Financial, or
yeah, it's a big local company. So
I'll tell you, yes, it's based out of Cincinnati, or it's based out of somewhere else in Ohio.
Based in Cincinnati, it's headquartered here. So I think that's the thing too. They wanted it to be a local buyer, I guess.
Well, that sounds a lot better than the Steelers' fucking new name for their stadium.
What is it?
I'm gonna have to look it up. I know they were called Heinz Field, which I love Heinz. That's the best ketchup in the fucking planet. I thought it was like a luck tie or some shit. But while I looked that up, I have been at the time when it was still Paul Brown Stadium. I was able to sneak in the stadium through the team store. Nice. The guy was I get in there. This was back in November of 2019. I was visiting friends down there in Ohio, and I was like, well, I want to go to Cincinnati. I heard it's a beautiful city, and it's a very beautiful city. Went to it. I parked. Walk around Paul Brown Stadium. The team store was open, and then I told the guy, I said, hey, look, I'm from Louisiana, and I had an LSU hat. I was like, I traveled all the way down here to come see Joe Burrow's alma mater. I went to this high school, Athens, saw the stadium before they named it after him. I went to Ohio University in Athens, where his dad was a coach, took pictures, showed him videos. I said, I came all the way down here. I want to see his future home because I was like, he's getting drafted here. After he wins that high, this was in November of 2019. The week before Thanksgiving, I said, Joe's winning the Heisman. He's going to win a national title. He's coming back to Cincinnati. I just want to see his future home. And I think he just got so hyped up because they were already selling Joe Burrow jerseys before he even won the Heisman. And he was like, would you like to come see the stadium? I said, please add this to my short stadium collection of stadiums I visited.
During a game or no?
No, this was on a Friday morning.
Okay. So you just kind of walked around the empty stadium. That's cool.
Well, I got to go like down to the lower bowl and take like 3 or 4 shots, and I had to leave.
Yeah,
he let me do.
That they let you in.
But no, that weekend the Bengals were on the. That was the weekend that the Steelers played the Browns and fucking Mason fucking threw his helmet. That was that weekend I went over there. But no, the Bengals were on the road that weekend. Okay. I don't remember who they played, but I was like, bro, that'd have been cool if they'd have had a home game. I'd have took a trip to back there and watch them play a game, even though y'all still had Andy Dalton as y'all quarterback at the time. I still would have loved to see him and Joe Mixon. And at the time, y'all still had T. Higgins was on the team in 2019.
No, he was the second-round pick in Burrow.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So we went receiver or quarterback receiver just like we did with Green and Dalton, but reversed this time.
Oh yeah, but yeah, it was cool to see that. Okay, so the Steelers stadium name is Acrisure Stadium.
Stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, we used to get bashed when they renamed the New Orleans Arena the Smoothie King Center. They're like, that's so fucking gay. I'm like, Smoothie King was based out of New Orleans. I'm fine with it. Yeah. And they nicknamed it if they don't call it the Nest for the Pelicans, they call it the Blender.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
I love Smoothie King.
Yeah, it's good.
Someone said it should have been called the Popeye Center or whatever, or Raising Cane. I said no, Raising Cane's Center is in Baton Rouge. That's where Raising Cane's is based out of. So yeah, no, I like it. Smoothie King Center and now the Caesars Superdome, which they completely renovated the inside. They renovated it a lot better, and it looks fucking great. Their new LED fucking deals are fucking badass.
Nice.
Yeah. But I was wondering, I was like, were you going to come to New Orleans? I know you go to the home games and you sometimes go to the road games.
No, I don't travel. I did when I I was employed by the team like full time for 2 years.
Nice.
Now I'm just like a freelance worker essentially. So those years I would travel for the primetime games.
Oh, wow. And y'all didn't get a lot back then. Y'all maybe get 1 or 2 a year at the time.
That was in the midst when we at least made the playoffs virtually every year. So we had, I think, 3 both of my years. One of them was a preseason, or 2 of them might have been preseason games. So I think I had 2 regular season each year, but I got to be on the team flight and everything. They were all losses because that was when Andy Dalton was renowned for being horrible in prime time. But some cool experiences for sure.
Absolutely. All right. We've been here over almost an hour and a half. Let's go ahead and close it out with score.
We got to make our picks, right?
Exactly, yeah. We're going to close it out with our score predictions, key to victories and whatnot. We'll start with Jordan. I mean, yeah, we're loyal, but, I just hope – well, let Jordan talk first. Give me a score prediction and if you want to add anything else on the game.
All right, I'll do a score prediction. I'll do Saints. I'll do 28-21.
That seems odd. That seems fair. I mean, why did I fucking say odd? I mean, that seems absolutely right. Meant to say it like that. Anything else you want to add on to that?
And hopefully my boy Cameron Jordan does good on Sunday.
He very well might.
Dylan threw his in 27-17.
Oh,
so
man.
All right.
Go ahead, man.
I'm going to say 27-20 Bengals, but I think it will be a really good close game the whole way. Could come down to a turnover, something like that. Again, I'm excited that it's against Dalton just because, it makes it that much more interesting. And like I said, we haven't beaten him yet when we've gone against him. So I'm ready to beat him. And then you got these storylines with the former Saints coming back, Chase and Burrow coming. Just a lot, like we said, it's an exciting game. But, I got to have faith in my team just like you got to in yours. But, I think on paper, I think we're the better, more talented team at the end of the day. And I think we should get the W. But it's the NFL. Anything can happen. But it'll be a fun game.
Well, I hope it'll be a fun game. But the only thing that's going to fuck this game up is those damn officials, because I don't know what it is with referees and Louisiana teams. LSU keeps getting fucked up on calls. They're preparing of how they're going to try and fuck us over with a game we've been excited for all season, and we know the crowd's going to be biased and 50-50 with both teams because the whole Who Dat Nation was supporting the Who Dey Nation for the Super Bowl because they were supporting mainly Joe and Jamar, and then a couple other LSU guys they had at the time. And, of course, they were supporting Trey Hendrickson on the team as well. It's going to be a close game. I think it'll be a defensive battle. I just hope, Cameron Jordan, David Onyemata, all the Demario Davis, y'all all do what y'all got to do. Just don't hurt Joe Burrow. If you got to sack him, just don't try to avoid a roughing the passer penalty or, all that. Don't do nothing stupid. Just give them clean tackles.
That's one thing we can all agree on. Hopefully, let's hope no one gets hurt, really, but especially.
Yeah, you don't want nobody hurting on teams. Dylan is rooting for Joe, Jamar, Trey, and Vaughn. Eli Apple can eat shit.
That's fine. Again, like I said, I don't care about Eli Apple. He's just on my team. I'm going to say definitely a one-possession game, so I'll probably say like a 24-17 Saints. Yeah. So we're all kind of, I think the 3 of us all picked a 7-point game on both sides, and Dylan had it at 10. I think he's wrong on that, but hey, we'll see. But I agree. I think it'll be a close game.
If it comes down to a kicker, we got 2 damn good kickers, Evan McPherson and Will Lutz.
Absolutely. And all of our fucking games other than the Jets have come down to a kick. Well, no, all 3 of our losses.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it very well could be again.
Yeah. Well, Brett, this was awesome to have you on. Thank you for coming back on. You're always welcome to come back and talk wrestling with us or even football. Before we close out, let them know where they can find you on social media.
We shall see. Hey, maybe we could put a little wager on it. I just won $20 off Dan Bakley, Cage My IQ, on the Okada-Jonah match last week. So I'd be down for a little friendly wager perhaps, but we'll talk offline. You can find me at Brainbuster Boys on Twitter and Instagram and all major podcasting platforms and on the Visionaries Global Media Network. And now, along with you all, at FloorSlapperSports.com.
Shout out to TK for that.
I've got a weekly top 10 matches of the week column. I know Dylan's doing Wrestler of the Week. He's doing all the graphics. You're doing some football scores.
Yep. Me and Jordan, along with like 6 other guys, were sport correspondents. I do college football and NFL. Jordan strictly does NFL, but I'm also going to do college hoops when basketball season starts and some NBA games, including the Christmas Day games. I can't wait to predict those when when that time gets closer. I'm even going to throw in maybe every game just once. I might just do like primetime games of the week. I'm gonna do something different, but NBA tip-off, which is a 2-night, I'm gonna predict every NBA game just once. And then when the weeks go by, I'm gonna do like mainly the primetime games. Like if you're on TNT and ESPN throughout the week, which is usually a Wednesday, Friday ESPN, Tuesday, Thursdays for TNT, I'm gonna predict those. And then Christmas Day, I'm picking all 5 games. You know the drill. Or if they got big marquee names, like if it's a Kevin Durant or a LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Devin Booker, all these type big names, Giannis, I'm a pretty good games as well. But yeah, what else you say you do for Floor Slapper Sports? You said
I'm doing a weekly top 10 matches of the week. So I've picked 3 or 4 of them, but yeah, I'll do like a write-up that have gotten kind of bigger and bigger each week, and then I just have the top 10, like the match, what I rated it, the show, stipulation, all that. So it's something I've been keeping track of all year. Just tagged, I have a huge spreadsheet with all this shit, so I love it. So now, just turn it into a weekly column. So again, thanks Tim for giving us the space.
Exactly. FloorSlapperSports.com, where you can find us all and all our shows, including the World Elite Podcast, which on Twitter at World Elite Pod, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube as well. Jordan is at Jordan_G2000. I'm at MarcusSilly337. Again, if you want to subscribe to us on audio platforms, give us a 5-star rating and a review. We are everywhere from Apple Pod, Google Pod, Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio. We are everywhere. But this is the World Elite Podcast, part of Floor Slapper Sports. This was great. Brett, as always, pleasure to have you. We're definitely going to have you again in the future. I hope you guys enjoy y'all's upcoming weekend, and we'll see y'all next time.
See ya.